Good morning, YouTube! Today's video is a unique one amidst my channel, and you've probably noticed that much of this year's September uploads have been more experimental. I've spent a lot of time between last September and this year attempting to refine my craft and get a feel for different styles of content. Hence today's video. That and I really wanted to make this anyways. I don't plan on making any videos similar to this in the future. This is unique to Nathaniel Bandy because I've been watching him for so long and I have much to say. Even if he never sees this, I'm happy knowing that I at least made it because he's such an inspiration as I'm trying to become a little more serious about my YouTube channel. Unlike him, I doubt I'll ever get to the point where I'm able to consistently upload though. I apologize because this video will be all over the place, and at points it is just me gushing about videos and series I remember fondly, so sorry about that. With all that said, I hope you enjoy Mrube's love letter to Nathaniel Bandy. First off, if you've never heard of Nathaniel Bandy and don't know what I'm talking about, he really likes rock. Sorry, I want to talk about Nathaniel Bandy. My bad. If you've never heard of him, he's a gaming YouTuber who focuses mostly on Nintendo games. He plays non-Nintendo games as well, but they're not the focus of his channel. Although he has done a lot of Sonic content. He has also branched out to the Mega Man series. Believe it or not, that's not how or why I began watching him. No, I've been a fan of him for years. Actually, in looking through his old videos to see which one I remember coming out first, I found a Mega Man acapella video that I had no idea was there before! I don't know how I'd never seen it before because I was either already subscribed or had been checking his channel regularly for new uploads or possibly even both. Weird. In looking at his channel, the earliest video I can remember watching shortly after it released, and what got me into his channel, seems to be his top 10 hardest Mario Kart Wii tracks, which is now 10 years old. Whoops. I've been around for quite a while, and so is he if this video is that old, oh my goodness. Hardest Galaxy Stars and coolest Mario Kart DS tracks are also ingrained in my memory pretty well, although the Mario Kart DS one is mostly lost on me now, but I did watch it when it came out, I think. What I want to talk about in this video, though, isn't the videos I remember or claiming to be some kind of super fan or anything. I honestly am not. There have been multiple times where I just stopped watching for a while due to one reason or another, not always related to the content he was putting out, just like life gets busy and stuff. No, what I'm here to discuss with you is Nathaniel's inspiration to me on a creative level. He is and has been adapting as a content creator for years. The fact that someone is now making a video talking about his creativity 10 years after they began watching him ought to tell you all you need to know. Let's get into it then, shall we? What makes Nathaniel Bandy's channel so special? Why do I want to talk about it so badly? And where did the semi-rivalry with Equals Peach go? The idea for this video came to me back in about mid-July of 2023 when Nathaniel uploaded videos that were his typical style but now had animated segments. After his very ambitious project Bandy's Universe was released, he started incorporating animations into his regular videos. And it got me thinking about how awesome that idea is and how Nathaniel is and kind of always has been brimming with ideas to make the videos engaging while not abandoning his identity. It's awesome! When I first got into NB, he mostly made top 10 videos, something that was very big on YouTube at the time, and his predicting series, the first of which I remember being Mario Kart 8. While I was invested on just these videos alone, looking back at the videos over the years, there's a lot I missed. He did freaking Q&As! He also did something called Smash and Compare, which while I was aware of it, I never really cared for those types of videos. Fast forward a handful of years, and a series that wasn't top 10s from Nathaniel began to get my attention. The 25 Obscure Facts About Blank series. As you can guess, Nathaniel would pick a topic ranging from Mario Kart to Pokemon to himself, and give 25 obscure facts about it. It's, I believe, the closest to educational he's ever gotten, and although I miss those videos, there's not a ton of other topics he could have picked to do it on and found obscure yet true facts about. I think something that distinguished his videos from other similar ones like Did You Know Gaming was his writing, presentation, editing, and for this type of video specifically, joke answers. He ended every episode with a painfully obvious, well-known fact. It felt like a great closure since there were 24 usually decent facts that came before it. They were a great way to end the videos. Next up was the Triggered series, and I believe this is a big entry point for a chunk of his current fans that are still loyal, to be entirely honest. On paper, these were just video game sims, but the way they were presented was completely different in style and tone. Instead of a running timer and counter or subtitles, Nathaniel took a simplistic approach, complained about small parts of games. Or entire consoles! He hates and showed clips of what he means. He often upplayed a lot of his negatives, but that was the point! He'd open most of them with a disclaimer.
Warning, the following video is a parody, so don't get your knickers in a knack about it.
Which is obviously satirical. Alongside the Triggered series, where NB complained about a particular game or console, he made mind-blowing videos talking about all his favorite bits and pieces from the same games. A gaming wins series, so to speak. Again, lots of differences. He might have had some inspiration from such channels, but he never ripped them off. He always made it his own. The 12 Days of Nintendo was a funny one-off video that I still remember to this day.
One-off video.
NB doesn't do much singing, hence my surprise at finding out he's done acapella covers. Oh my gosh, how did I not know? But he did for this, and I found it very entertaining and funny. Not a series, but I'm trying to highlight his creativity, sense of humor, and dedication. Then came the reaction series. Oh boy. This gave me a grounded connection to him as a person. He would take 3 of his older videos, rewatch them, and give his live reaction as well as some behind-the-scenes details about them. This is him at his most genuine. He looks at his older videos and says, huh, that didn't age well, glad I changed it in my recent stuff. Personally, I think he could have been slightly less hard on himself, but he clearly cares deeply about putting out good content, and that means looking at what you've done and scrutinizing all the bad parts to improve and do better in the future. On the other hand, I'd argue it also means looking at everything good you did right and saying, huh, that would be a good thing to re-implement or continue doing. His Super Smash Flash video was awesome! Oh my gosh, it's been 6 years since Minus World became a thing. For those who don't know, 6 years ago, Nathaniel and other Nintendo YouTubers began a group together known as Minus World. Minus World is still going strong today and has its own dedicated YouTube channel now. Initially though, the main attraction for myself and many other viewers was a series on Hobo Bros YouTube channel called 10 vs 1. 10 casual Nintendo YouTubers versus 1 speedrunner. It was almost always Super Mario 64, and these were incredibly entertaining to watch. The better casual players, like Nathaniel Bandy, would teach the less experienced guys how to do some tricks. NB speedran Mario 64 because it was his favorite game. The 10 casuals, which occasionally had guest YouTubers like DGR and Attacking Toucans, got so good that Simpleflips, the usual speedrunner, taught them all how to do some Super Mario 64 speedrunning tricks. After that, it was only balanced that Simple got a teammate to help him out. They even got a world record holder to join them a few times. Sometimes this meant NB would join Simple, and the conversations and roasts that happened because of that were amazing. NB's collaboration presence hasn't ever been limited to Minus World, but it is a major chunk of it today. It looks like around this time is when NB began his Backwards series as well. And that idea really got my head spinning. I loved the Backwards episodes. Like the reactions to old videos and the 25 Facts series, he eventually ran out of topics he wanted to do it with, but man, that was a super creative and engaging idea. There were plenty of times where trivial parts going forward caused major headache or even straight up failure going backwards. Eventually, he did ranking videos which kind of replaced top 10s. He still makes the occasional ranking video today, although they are very sparse. Ah, the challenge videos. These are separate from the Backwards series, and here's why. The Backwards series usually required some kind of mod so he could even try it. By contrast, these challenges were taking the base game and attempting to complete it with certain self-placed restrictions. This is where Steve Gaming, Mayro, Nico BBQ, who by the way is a fellow Minus World member, began to surge a bit higher in YouTube's recommended content slots. Once again, this shows how NB adapted to YouTube's demands and trends around him. But through it all, he never abandoned what made his channel special. He continued being a goofy yet determined guy pushing to accomplish his goals. With these series, some of which being dropped are much less prevalent, NB charged forward for multiple years, doing what he does best. Other ideas were thrown in, of course, like tier lists and remaking levels or full games in Mario Maker, but NB mostly put out the content he knew was healthy for the growth of his channel alongside the unique ideas. The important thing to note here is that he still seemed passionate about the series that were sticking around. If he didn't like a video, it didn't come across in the video itself, at least not to me. Then, in 2021, NB released his Bandy's Universe trailer. This video excited me a lot. I've been watching him for years and years at this point, probably actively watching for somewhere around 7 years? Either way, Bandy's Universe was an ambitious project with tons of animation and his friend Carl coming back to the channel to co-star. Unfortunately for me, we wouldn't get a look at Bandy's universe until a year later. And the first episode dropped only a little less than a year from the time the first version of this script was written. Wow, it's been almost a year. That's insane to me. Side note, it has now been even longer since I wrote this script, then life got busy again and I didn't pick it up again until a year later. While I thoroughly enjoyed Bandy's universe and I've been calling attention to NB's creativity this whole video, it isn't what directly inspired this love letter for years of labor this man has poured into his YouTube career. The truth is, I've always wanted to make this kind of video, since long before I ever considered uploading to YouTube myself. But what got me thinking about realistically making this was, 1, as I said at the beginning, him putting animations into his videos, but just as importantly, 2, he is still making new series and exploring new ideas. A couple months ago, again, old script, sorry, he released a video about whether he could 100% all 3D Mario games in a week. He recently followed it up by 100%ing all the Mario Kart games. Both videos, especially the Mario Kart one, featured animated segments that I super appreciate. Editor's note, he has done plenty of others since then, and gave a mental health update because his viewers were concerned with how many marathons he was putting himself through. There have been other ideas he's done I haven't mentioned yet. I usually didn't watch them, but a few of them were some of my favorite NB videos and still are to this day. Psycho Waluigi might never be topped, to be completely honest with you. Hacks are something he's done a lot of, but they tend to be so diverse that I don't think they can be classified under the same umbrella like top 10s or backwards or triggered. Another one of my favorites, just because it was once again NB at his most raw, was when a young child copy and pasted NB's video as his own, just putting his own voice and face over Nathaniel Bandy's. I think Nathaniel handled it very well because he wasn't upset or anything. The kid clearly meant no harm, and as pointed out by the man himself,
I don't think that he realizes that he's doing a bad thing.
over the years, Nathaniel Bandy has made some amazing videos and series, and I hope he continues pursuing this passion for years to come. He's been one of my favorite YouTubers simply for his creative ideas, sarcastic or dry wit, editing, passion, and his perseverance through everything he's done. His intro went from striving for originality to actually, I don't know that he has any form of official intros anymore. Point being, Nathaniel has persevered throughout the years and inspired myself and likely many others to be creative and not to give up. To bring new, creative ideas to the table and see what sticks and what flops. I think that's something anyone, on YouTube or not, can strive for. Originality. If you've somehow made it to the end of this video, thank you. I really appreciate that you decided to stick around to the very end. And if Nathaniel happens to be watching this by some miracle, I want to say, seriously man, thank you so much for what you've contributed to my life and to others' lives. I realize you're not the biggest YouTuber out there, but you can still make a difference to an audience of currently more than 1 million people. Please keep doing what you're doing and experimenting with different video ideas and concepts. And please continue the animated segments of the normal videos. I really, really enjoy them. With all that said and done, I want to thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.